So I know what you're thinking, where's the focus? That's kind of the point here. I want to talk about omnidirectional microphones, and the focus is right here on this omnidirectional microphone, and the sound is also coming from this microphone. We're going to start, but remember the thing about focus, because we're going to return to that. We're going to start at the beginning of the history of omnidirectional microphones and the beginning of the history of condenser microphones, because that's one and the same thing. The first microphones were omnidirectional. That's a pressure transducer, so it reacts to differences in changes in pressure. Okay, the first microphones were kind of large. The diaphragms were kind of large. This is a tiny one. This is what we call a small diaphragm, and those were fairly large, the early ones, and they had an issue or a feature, depending on how you look at it. They were, because of their size and other things, they were not truly omnidirectional. They were omnidirectional in the low frequency response, but in the higher frequencies they got more and more directive, which is like they had a focus. See, that's that word again. They had like a directional focus in the high frequencies, and it was also it gave the response kind of a boost, like a treble boost, which was interesting enough, not a bad thing necessarily. They had a response that would kind of enhance clarity and air and kind of the important part of the spoken voice. Okay, and but anyway, the engineers wanted to improve on these early designs, so they came to the conclusion that we have to make the diaphragm smaller. So that's where we got these typical small diaphragm condenser microphones with omnidirectional properties. Okay, so, and that's great for a measurement microphone, because if you make it, if it would be like just the size of a needle point, it would be truly omnidirectional in all directions, and it would be the perfect microphone for measuring things and measuring other microphones and stuff like that, because it wouldn't be directional in high frequencies. It would have the same properties all over the frequency range. So in the 50s, something happened. They started using these condenser microphones, which were beautiful quality for orchestral recording and recording large ensembles. And they figured out that it would be good to have a bit of focus. There's that word again. Kind of like looking at what's in front of you, like zooming in on it, but still getting the sound on the concert hall or whatever, the space, getting all of that, the spaciousness, and then but still focusing on the instruments in front of the singer or the speaker, whatever, in front of the microphone. So they came up with this idea, and I have a little thing to demonstrate that. They said, we're going to put a sphere on the small condenser microphone, and they did that just like this. Okay, so what happens now? Well, now this microphone, which by the way wasn't flat in response to begin with, it also had a little bit of a treble boost and treble focus forward. This now has more of a focus forward in this direction, and it's a nice smooth response. But I can't help thinking that wait a minute, we're actually back where we started, because we began with a larger diaphragm that had this focus already and this rise in the frequency response. So this brings me to my new microphone. If you come with me over here, let's see if I can do this smoothly. Right there. So This microphone has a typical large diaphragm. So I call this a large diaphragm omni microphone. It is a true omni transducer. It's a closed, it's a sealed capsule. It only has one diaphragm and all of that. And it's maybe not as large as the really early ones, but it's still fairly large, like a typical, I would say, 1-inch capsule. So this microphone, what does it have? It has a gradually increasing high frequency boost, which I like to think of as free EQ, and very beautiful, wonderful sounding EQ. I hope you can agree with that. And then it has focus. It has focus to whatever is in front of it. So how well does this work, actually, this idea of going back and skipping the kind of the middle step? Well, surprisingly well, I would say. Looking at the measurements and listening to myself, but this would really be up to you to decide if this is a useful microphone or not. So I'm hoping to see this microphone in use all over the world soon. We're going to be making it in matched pairs or matched triplets, which is like 3 of the same, with the super matched capsules in a package. So you can use it in a decatree or a typical setup where you would use an omnidirectional microphone. Okay, there's a little bit more to this microphone than just the thing I described about going back to the early designs and skipping the middle step. This is also, it has some features I don't think I've ever seen. As far as I know, there's not a capsule like this anywhere, and it hasn't been made. So there's a kind of a few special things about this microphone as well. And hopefully it all ends up with a beautiful sounding microphone. And I have to warn you, though, this is not a microphone for everybody. This is like a very unique and special, and you might call it like a signature microphone. I put my name on it, which I thought was a really cool idea. So thank you for that. It was not mine, but I think it looks cool, and I'm proud to put my name on this microphone, because I think it kind of represents what I'm thinking, going back to the roots and then taking another path and hopefully arriving at something new, something beautiful, but something that pays a lot of respect to the history and the kind of the past of the microphones, and also what people realize that they really want. They don't want a truly omnidirectional microphone for music recording. They want something with a little bit of focus. They want something with a treble boost like this shelf. So there you have it. I call it the NU-314K, and I think we've kind of come full circle with this one. Thanks for listening.